Netflix has been catching a big L this week, and it's thanks to an upcoming documentary series called Queen Cleopatra. So this is going to be a documentary on the life and legacy of Cleopatra, who was the queen of Egypt roughly 2,000 years ago. We've got about 3 weeks until it's actually released, but the trailer dropped last week on YouTube, and it has taken the internet by storm. And the reason for this is because Netflix casted a black actress named Adele James to play Cleopatra. Now, if you did not know something that is notable about Cleopatra, the actual Cleopatra, the actual historical figure, is that she was of Greek descent. She had white skin. Despite being an Egyptian ruler, she was described in writings as having ivory white skin. This is a known basic fact about her if you do any research on her, which if you're making a documentary on someone, I would assume you would do research on them. So this has caused a lot of backlash against Netflix. A lot of people are criticizing them for blackwashing history, as they're calling it. Now, some people are defending this. Some people are saying that white actors in the past have played non-white historical figures. And, they're saying, well, okay, where was the outrage then? Which, at first, I'll say, okay, this has actually happened in the past. That is a fair point. For example, okay, you take Jesus in Passion of the Christ. He was played by Jim Caviezel, who is white, while Jesus historically was actually of Palestinian descent, so he was Middle Eastern, therefore making him not white. So, fair argument, this has happened in the past, but to this I would say there is a difference between the two cases. In the case of Passion of the Christ with Jim Caviezel playing Jesus, this was probably more of a choice, probably birthed out of ignorance at the time rather than a deliberate choice. Whereas the choice to cast a black actress as Cleopatra was, if you know anything about Netflix and Hollywood in 2023, I'm sure this was a deliberate choice. This was a choice that was made on purpose. And believe it or not, the country of Egypt is outraged as well. So an Egyptian lawyer is actually suing Netflix with the intention of having it banned in Egypt for what the lawyer said is a distortion of their history to promote its own agenda. So he said, quote, "In order to preserve the Egyptian natural and cultural identity among Egyptians all over the world, there must be pride in the makings of such work." Which, is a fair point. The director of the documentary, named Tina Garay, came out today with a piece basically defending her choice to cast a black actress. So Tina says, why shouldn't Cleopatra be black? And why do some people need Cleopatra to be white? Her proximity to whiteness seems to give her value, and for some Egyptians, it seems to really matter. I really don't agree with her statement here. Okay, I don't think Egyptians think that Cleopatra's whiteness gives her value. I think Egyptians just don't like someone coming along and trying to deliberately change something about their historical figure, something about a very important person in their history, and then turning around and calling this historically accurate. That's just my take on it anyway. So the documentary Queen Cleopatra is set to hit Netflix on May 10th. Oh boy, I can't wait for Netflix to come out with their next documentary. Maybe in the next one, Tom Holland will play Muhammad Ali.